to go, I think. Let's get back in the mix. Slaughter these frickin' whales. Oh my god, they do so much damage. Good god. Calm down, you bastards. Okay, let's just leave. And we can't rest. Bugger. Okay, now we can. Good. That's all we wanted. Now let's save before going back in. We're gonna have to kill these guys sort of one by one. A frozen mug? What? It's not a frozen mug, it's just a mug. I didn't freeze it. Do you mean that, like, if you go to a bar, normally this kind of mug, they would keep it in the fridge or the freezer and have it chilled? Because this is just, like, that was just in the cupboard. I don't know how fancy you think I am. I'm not that fancy. I don't have a mug freezer. One day I'll have such luxuries as a mug freezer. Holy shit, we need to leave and heal again. One hit took away half my life. Good god. Hold on, let's just have a quick nap. Frozen mugs are the bomb. You can't believe I haven't heard of those. And yeah, they sell them. They sell them? How can you sell a frozen mug? It'd eventually heat up and not be frozen anymore. What are you talking about, a frozen mug? You just stick them in a regular freezer. Couldn't you just stick a mug in the freezer? Though? I don't understand. You divide, please. I mean, as long as you didn't pour like hot water into something or hot anything into a mug after you put it in the freezer. Pretty sure it wouldn't matter what kind of freezer, what kind of mug you have. But I don't know. What do I know about frozen mugs? What do I know? I don't really go to bars and think. Oh my god! I don't go to bars and things. I don't have a wealth of knowledge and experience with these things. Oh shit! Oh shit! I was a fool.
You were a fool to confront me, and now have paid the ultimate price. Even now, my servants go to fetch your mortal husk. You will serve me well through my years as Emperor, once I have made you undead. Perhaps I will even let you retain some of your memories, so that the price of your failure has meaning to you.
God damn it. Well, that way it took a long time, so let's go this way instead. It's probably a shorter dead end. Come on, just die. Good boy. So yeah, this way is just a dead end. This is the way we want to go then, first. Wait! Oh my god, they destroyed my shield so quickly. Friggin' buggers. Alright. My shield re-equipped? No. Give it back to me. Let's get the Master's Lockpick out. I really need some more I really need some more lockpicks. Chemical stuff between the layers of glass. Huh. Shot by battle axe. Don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it. We need that. Okay, let's re-equip the sword. Does anyone like Dirt 2? Yeah, I like the game. I won't be streaming it, but I have played it. I think I own Dirt 3 as well. Or is that even out? I think it is. I don't know. I think I own Dirt 3. I don't know. But I won't be streaming those games, guys, unfortunately. Even if I do find time to play them. Because high motion games basically require a higher bitrate to look good. And my bitrate is shit. I'm at absolute maximum bitrate I can possibly use on my connection right now. I can remain stable, not drop frames and stuff. And you can see the stream doesn't look that good. Like, it looks okay. But we're playing like an old and pretty slow game. Like, I'm not looking around like this all the time. Oh shit. In a racing game, since it's high motion, it requires a high bitrate. Because, oh shit. I was a fool!
You were a fool to confront me, and now have paid the ultimate price. Even now, my servants go to fetch your mortal husk. You will serve me well through my years as Emperor, once I have made you undead. Perhaps I will even let you retain some of your memories, so that the price of your failure has meaning to you.
God damn it. God damn it. If God were real, I would implore him to damn it. Too bad he's not. My Morrowind looks a shit ton better than yours. Well, you are playing on Xbox, so that's like the entire reason that looks like crap on your end, on your Morrowind. Can I please sleep? Really, do I have to go all the way out of here to sleep? Come on now. Come on now. It's a long clip to be playing with how much I die. G-chan, please. G-chan, please. He's a phony. God is a phony. A big fat one. He's a big fat phony. Oh, that's the wrong way. Okay. I really shouldn't say offensive shit like that. Like, God isn't real. It's not really that offensive, I don't think. But, in my experience, like, I do try to avoid controversial topics, like religion. But nobody should be offended if I say God isn't real. Like, you know. I don't see how that's offensive. Some people believe he's real. Some people, like myself, don't believe it's real. It, I suppose, is more accurate. And if you can't handle somebody saying God isn't real, if you find that so offensive that you're gonna like leave my stream or get really mad or something, if somebody's gonna get offended by that, like they've got bigger issues than what live stream they watch. So, you know, if people are gonna leave my stream over me saying God isn't real, they should probably investigate their beliefs more until they feel secure in their own beliefs. Like if somebody believes, if somebody is a Christian or whatever, and they believe there is a God, and then if they hear somebody say that God isn't real, they just have to leave. They can't handle it, you know? Just go get more secure in your beliefs. It's actually pretty offensive. And there's unavoidable logic that dictates it would be impossible for what I'm saying to be true. That God isn't real. You're saying it's impossible for God to not be real. Dallas Chiefs fan. We can have a discussion about whether God is real or not. Although, you know, I don't think it's such a simple task that we would be able to determine it while playing some video games. But if you're saying there's unavoidable logic that dictates it would be impossible that it would be impossible for there to be no God, I suggest you prove that scientifically and go collect your Nobel Prize. You'll be the richest man in the world. Well, not the richest man in the world, but a very rich man if you can prove through logic. You said logic. And logic should be provable through scientific methods. The scientific method, that is. That's milk. So if you can prove it scientifically that there is a God, that there necessarily must be a God, whether that's the Christian God or just a God being that created everything or whatever your definition is, then go collect your Nobel Prize. Refer to the cosmological argument, the ontological argument, the moral argument, the teleological argument, the existential argument, and you'll see what I'm saying. Right. You know, I'm gonna step into this convo. This is a game stream. We don't want any annoying crap about religion. We just want to have some fun and be entertained. Well, it's impossible to prove metaphysics scientifically. It's science, but science can't prove everything. Science can't prove math. What? Wait. Science isn't the only path to truth. Why did... Hold on. Oh, that was... I thought somebody timed him out. He posted a link. Oh, divide.name. Dallas. Divide.name. I thought that was a link. So what did you say there? You said... No, there's not. New divide. Name it. Dallas Cheese fan, you said, hold on, what did you say? Like, and let me make this clear. You know, let's not get heated about this or anything. I know it's a very delicate subject for some people, so let's just remain calm here. Just because we're discussing God and religion and stuff doesn't mean everybody needs to have an argument. It's impossible to prove. I don't know what metaphysics are or is. Science can't prove everything. Can't prove math. I don't really understand this. Hold on. Can't prove math. Can't prove logic. Isn't the only path to truth. I think you might have a misconception about what science is. Science is just, well, it's two things. Science is the collection of knowledge that has been scientifically proven, and science is the scientific method, which is basically the method of determining whether something is true or possible or real or correct or not. So you start with a thesis, well, you don't have to, but you usually start with a thesis or a theory, or well, yeah, it's a hypothesis or thesis, right? Hypothesis. You start with a hypothesis that, like, something is true or something is correct or something works in one way. Then, to test if that's true, you test it and test it and test it and test it and test it under all these different conditions, you know, to make sure that under no circumstances is what you say incorrect. So you say, for instance, you know, one of Newton's laws of physics or whatever. I'm not too educated about physics and all that, but you know, say all energy is conserved, right? No energy is ever just lost or destroyed. It's just transformed into another form of energy. You just run test after test after test after test and measure how much energy is involved in, you know, certain reactions and how much energy goes in and how much energy you're left with, how much energy is transformed into different things until you just determine that under no circumstances is any energy ever just lost. It's always true. What you say is always got to be true. And then if you've tested something so thoroughly that it never is wrong, that it's never wrong, if you can prove under a single circumstance that that's wrong, then it's scientifically disproven. That's how we form scientific knowledge. What did you say now? If science is the only way to determine anything, then there's no way to determine what the purpose to life is. What the purpose to life is? No. But you're starting with the idea that there is a purpose to life, Dallas Cheese fan. You're already saying, there is a purpose to life. Science can't tell me what it is. Objective moral values? I don't think there are See, you're starting, Dallas Cheese fan, with preconceptions. You're saying that there is a purpose to life, there are objective moral values, that kind of stuff. You're already saying these things exist. You're already saying these things exist, why can't science tell me them? I think there's no purpose to life. There has to be a purpose to life. Why? I don't think there has to be. The purpose in my life, otherwise we wouldn't be. How do you know that? If we had no purpose, we wouldn't be here. I don't think mountains, for instance, are created with an idea in mind. These mountains will serve this purpose. These mountains are, you know, I will create these mountains and they will serve this purpose. I think mountains are the effect of, you know, a series of causes. The tectonic plates moving and rubbing together and Earth being pushed up and forming a mountain over millions of years. And they happen to also, you know, affect the way that the winds blow and the water, you know, forms clouds in the sky over the low land areas and the sea, and then when they reach mountains they become too dense and things like that and drop rain, and the rain runs down the mountains and forms rivers and streams. I don't think there's a purpose to the mountains already, though. I don't think anything decides, I will create the mountains and they will cause the rains to fall and run rivers down into different places and all that kind of stuff. It's the same with people. I think through evolution of millions and millions and billions of years, people have been evolved, created, whatever you want to call it. They've evolved from great apes. And we're born, we live our lives, we die, we do whatever we will do in between those two things. I prefer to try and seek my own happiness and to try and better the world, and all that kind of stuff. And I hope that other people will as well. And I think we can work out that that's a good idea just by seeing the cause and effect. You know, if I am a good person, if I don't murder anybody, and if I don't steal from people, then other people will also not murder me, which is something I would like to avoid. And they won't steal from me, which is also something I'd like to avoid. I know evolution doesn't disprove God. I know. I'm not even really talking about God here. I'm just saying that you're saying there has to be... Hold on, think this through logically. For people who say that everything is subjective and there is no truth or moral truth, is that the truth or is that their opinion? It's a self-defeating stance. No. I don't think that's right at all. I'm not following your logic there at all. To say that there is no objective values is to deny final and formal causes, which is impossible. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think there are... Hold on. What are you saying? To say there are no objective values is to deny final and formal causes. Final and formal causes. What does that mean? Exactly. What does that mean? This is so interesting. You would sub right now if you had money. Well, thank you, Zach Mangosteen. Now you don't know how this started, but it's getting a bit silly. I find it a good conversation. I'll try to continue playing the game as we have these discussions rather than stopping like that like I did for a while, but... Welcome, Cubed Mind. Yeah, let's save the game before I lose track of... I'm actually really enjoying the conversation. It's been a while since I've had a conversation like this. Ultimate Nerd for Politics. Study philosophy. If that's all you can tell me, you're not proving a point at all. You're just saying, oh, you don't understand my point? Go study philosophy. You know, if you can't explain what you're saying, if you're just going to put out catchphrases and say certain things are impossible with no backing, and then tell me to go study philosophy, it's not really making a point. Final causes, the metaphysical or true purpose for something. So you just said, you said denying final causes is impossible or something like that? Like, you're starting with preconceptions that there are true purposes for something, that there are you know, set rules and objective values and things. You're saying they do exist, therefore God had to make them. Well, that's what you know, it's the simplified version of what you're saying. But I'm saying maybe they don't exist. In fact, I don't think they exist. Yeah, bit too long there. Nightbot doesn't like really long messages. You did philosophy and ethics in school and it didn't really teach you a lot. The paranormal part was the only interesting part you took it. I've never studied philosophy really, though I've, you know, read a few books on this and that. Never studied philosophy too much though. Yeah, Nightbot just removed Dallas Chiefs fans' messages there because they were way too long. What am I searching for? I'm supposed to be killing all the werewolves, right? Have I killed all of them yet? I'm back to the start, hold on. I've buggered myself around. What is the purpose of a shoe? Or of a couch or of a computer? Well, we created a shoe. Yeah, sure, we created shoes with specific intentions in mind. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Dallas Chiefs fan. But, then you're saying, just because those things have final causes, everything has a final cause. Or a final, not a cause, it's a purpose, really. Not final cause. That doesn't make any sense to call it a cause. But a purpose. You're saying, just because things we create have final purposes, absolute purposes, means that everything has to have a purpose. You're just making a leap there with no real reason. It's impossible to say that final causes don't exist. I don't think they exist. Why are we here? See, Dallas Chiefs fan, I explained to you my thoughts on that already. I don't think we have a specific intention. I don't think we're created and put here with a purpose. I don't think we're made with a purpose. I think we are born here, we live, we die, we do a bunch of stuff in between. Hopefully we live good lives and don't be assholes to each other. which is kind of my goal. Don't be an asshole to anybody. And then, yeah, then we die. That's it. I don't think... You're just saying that just because things that we make often have, or usually have, a specific purpose in mind when they're created, means that everything has to have a specific purpose when it's created. That's wrong. You can't have no purpose. That's yeah, I can. Well, I create my own purpose, you see. I just told you my purpose, my goal in life. Overall, just to be a good person and have a good time doing it. You think my... that's what it comes down to, Dallas Cheese fan. That's what it comes down to. Here, I can round up the whole thing right here. You said, I think your thoughts were inadequate. So basically you say that my thought is that we don't have a specific purpose that we're created for. You know, we just live our lives, we live and die, and we do what we will. And you don't like that. You can't accept that. You can't accept that. It's inadequate to you. So you start from the preconception that we do have one. So you're just saying, I don't want it to be, or I don't accept that we have no purpose, so I'll start from the preconception that we do have a purpose. That's exactly what you just said. You know, basically, I'm putting a few words in your mouth there, so if you disagree, you can. But you're saying that I don't accept that we have no purpose. I can't accept that, so therefore we do. And starting from that preconception, you can draw lines to there being something that created us with a purpose, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's like, if you disagree with that, we can discuss it further, but I'm pretty sure that's the whole conversation right there. You don't accept that there are no purposes, pre-made purposes for us in life. And starting from the conception that there are purposes, then you think there is a God that created those purposes and all that, created us with a purpose. You're saying that it's self-evident that we have a purpose. If there was no purpose... I already explained, Dallas Cheese fan, that that's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, you clearly didn't listen to what I said. I'm not getting angry. I know it sounds like it. I said, we live, we die, and we work out everything in between, right? From the wisdom of my peers, and from thinking about it myself, I have decided myself that it would be extremely foolish to go and murder people, to rape people, to steal from them, to commit suicide. Although, I mean, that's a more personal choice. It would be a bad idea. Okay, let's just think of it this way. I don't want to be murdered, or raped, or have my stuff stolen. And for that to not happen, I have to not murder people, rape people, and steal their stuff. If I went out and murdered somebody, I'd be sent to jail. And I don't want to be sent to jail. I don't want to murder somebody in the first place, but even if I did, I wouldn't want to be sent to jail. So I don't murder people. You know? It doesn't make things okay just because, you know, just because there's not an amazing, that's egoism. That's a philosophy that points to an... I don't understand what you're saying at all. Hold on. Is that what Isaac Newton said or what I said? Religion is a neurosis that has cockblocked progress for thousands of years, and this kind of bullshit needs to be purged from the consciousness of civilization before the fundies start making wars to bring about the end times. Well, you make a point there. Although I don't entirely agree. You do make a good point there. Religion can stifle innovation and scientific advancement. Certainly can. And can be the cause of wars and conflicts, but so can non-religious things. Thank you all. There's a well-established philosophy called ethical egoism with proponents like Ayn Rand who herself agrees that there is objective... See, what you just said is totally irrelevant. I don't care what it's called, whether it's ethical egoism or whether it, you know, whether it's supported by somebody else who... whether somebody else thinks it's right and also thinks that there's a God. I don't really care about that. I care about, you know, is what I said correct? You know, is, you know, that's, I actually just told you that's how I live my life. I'm not telling you that's how everybody should necessarily, although I think they probably should. But, yeah, you didn't really make a point there. Are we here to play or talk about stuff? No one remember be the right answer. Well, I mean, we could talk and play. If it's an educational and interesting conversation, there's no point in not having it. But yeah, no, I agree that religious endeavors did bring about science. Totally. Totally. I'm jumping too far ahead. I'm acting as if you saying that an objective purpose exists is you saying that God exists. No, I'm not. I already said the conversation is about God exists. Science exists regardless of humans, religion, or any other factors. That's correct, fans of games. But the scientific endeavor probably did start due to religious endeavor, trying to figure out exactly whether their religious beliefs are true. The amount to which people believe in science has made another god, in your opinion. There are various scientific facts that have been overturned and still being dogmatically taught in schools. Then that needs to be corrected. But science isn't a god. You don't want to write a dissertation here, but my logic, as well as many in here, are full of fallacies. But you haven't even pointed out, like, all you've said is, like, I told you how I determine whether an action is right or wrong, and how I would form, you know, laws and things. And then you said, well, you know, somebody else who said that also believed in God. You didn't actually make a point about what I said. So, I'm waiting to hear why my position on that was wrong. And if it is wrong, I'd like to know. A guy was stabbed by a replica Master Sword in a home argument. Okay, G-Chan. Tom Cruise seems to think science is God. No, he thinks Scientology. And the Scientological God, I don't know, whatever it is. A single God can be considered the ultimate straw man. Yeah, well, it could be. Divide all you're doing is... Oh, who are we talking about? Divide. Divide. Who's divide? New divide. Yeah, you guys don't need to make it personal. Obviously, it's very hard to have a debate with someone who has their voice with only a keyboard. I'm sure you can understand. No, I can understand, Dallas. But you still haven't addressed my point. All you're saying is that what you're trying to say doesn't make much sense. No, I agree. I agree, but you know, there's no point in just saying what you're saying doesn't make sense. You actually need to explain why. Can't blame you for trying to derail this, G-Chan. Well, and some people don't enjoy this kind of conversation. Twitch needs a block button. Methodist? Oh, I was going to put my glass on the floor and it's still full of milk. You can click somebody's name and click ignore if you don't like what they're saying. Although on my stream it'll still come up here. Hold on. You divide, then perhaps you don't have a strong grasp of logic, but that isn't. Right. Dallas, you still haven't answered my question. What about what I said was wrong? You said there have to be objective... You said there have to be objective moral values. There have to be. And I said, well, I work out my morals by just considering cause and effect, basically. I don't want to be murdered or raped or stolen from or anything like that. And I don't want to go to jail either. So, because of those things... And also because I have no desire to do those things, I don't go out and murder and rape and steal from people. You know? And then you said, but somebody else who believed that also believed in God. I don't really even know who you're talking about. You haven't actually addressed the point there. That was where we got to. What is the point of those morals? To make mine and everybody else's life better? To aid in human progress? What is the point of not wanting to go to jail? Because I wouldn't enjoy being in jail? Why is it bad for bad things to happen to me? Because it would make me unhappy. Because of the way the human brain works. Because of evolution, basically. We've evolved to a state where if things happen to incapacitate us, then we'll feel bad. Why do I have internal feelings of what is what? I can actually explain empathy. Internal feelings of what is right and wrong. Why is it important for people's lives to be better? Empathy. Let me go on to this point then. Empathy. Empathy is the result of what are called mirror neurons in your brain. Mirror neurons mimic feelings that you see in other people. So if you see somebody who is sad, your mirror neurons make you feel sad. If you see somebody that's happy, your mirror neurons make you feel happy. Okay? Empathy is all based on, well, I think mostly based on mirror neurons in your brain. So, by making other people happy, you make yourself happy. It's beneficial for everybody. By making other people sad, for instance through thievery and murder and that kind of thing, you'll make yourself sad. That's the whole point of making other people happy. You know, when it comes down to it, of course I enjoy making other people happy, because it makes me happy. You know, I'm glad if I'm able to donate to a charity that helps out poor kids in Africa, because it'll make me happy to know that they're gonna have a better life. You know, that's the whole idea. You seem to be an adherent to scientism, which is a view that science is the only path to truth. The scientific method, I think, is the best way to determine whether something is true for everybody under every circumstance. So if you can repeat, if you claim something and you can repeat that in any environment and under no circumstances will it ever be wrong, that's the scientific method. You know, I don't automatically believe something because people say it's science. But if somebody claims something and I could go and repeat the experiment to test whether that's right or wrong, whether that's true or false, then I'll believe it. If I can just go and test it myself, then yeah, you know, assuming I'm happy with not testing it myself, I'll just believe it. Otherwise I will go test it, or I'll go and see. That view that you just expressed has been debunked for decades. It's self-defeating. You might be changing your name on Twitch. Okay, Liam. I always wear a top hat. It's science. Yes. Okay, the Totem and Claw Fang. Oh, where are they? They're in the place. Hold on. Let's go back there and find it. I see. What you've said, Dallas Cheese Fan, is just, it's self-defeating. It's been disproven, but can you tell me how it's disproven? You know, how the scientific method is disproven? How the scientific method... Can you show me any instance when the scientific method doesn't find the truth? You know. Can you show me something is true? Can you show me that something is true, and then show me that the scientific method does not determine that it's true? I don't know how you're going to show me it's true without the scientific method, but if you can do that, then sure. Science can blind you. That's why I said I don't just accept things if they're called scientific knowledge. I accept them if they're repeatable and all that kind of stuff. So what am I looking for? It might be one of these weapons that I found. Like the... hold on. The Totem of Claw and Fang. I'm waiting now to see what Dallas says about that, so that's why I'm not even commentating the game anymore. I'm trying to have more of a conversation on science and religion than anything. Guys, the Earth is 6,000 years old. Definitely. Definitely. No, I totally agree. 100% agree with that, man. Totally. No, I don't. I don't. Just to be clear, I don't agree that the Earth is 6,000 years old. Just to be clear. Hey, Matski, welcome. You love the Elder Scrolls universe. It's so captivating. It is a very well-built universe. in my opinion. A very well-built universe. All the lore around it, from what I can tell, is pretty solid. And the games are, you know, quite immersive, in my opinion. Were you there? My God was. Proves it. Well, that is... I don't think that's Dallas Chiefs fans' argument, but there certainly is the argument of some people like Ken Ham. And Dallas, please, hold on. I'm gonna... Hold on. Pardon me. Excuse me. Let me just bring up Dallas Chiefs fans thing. Any scientist worth his salt will tell you that final and formal causes do exist. They will also tell you that science is absolutely terrible at answering questions of final and formal causes. All I can tell you is to look it up and research it. If I were with you in person or over the phone, I'd go into depth, but it's simply not practical here. So you're basically saying that any well-informed scientist would be able to tell me and explain to me why final and formal causes are necessary, but you can't tell me why. If you can't tell me why, the core of your entire... So you're basically saying you've based your belief on that final formal causes must exist, and you can't explain why. Well, I guess you could over the phone, you said. But, I mean, if you could give me a summary, that'd be pretty helpful. You're a 546-year-old elf? Lamppost? I believe you. What about the Baldur's Gate universe? Never played a Baldur's Gate game. Kill me now. I've never played it. I'm sorry. I know that deserves crucifixion in some people's eyes. Not that many, though. Not why, but that they do. Well. But all you say... Okay, about final formal causes, which I just see as purpose. All that is a fancy way of saying a purpose. A final purpose for everything. Is this it? Oh, that's a totem. There we go. All you've said is that man-made objects, usually, they don't even always have a final cause or a final purpose. I can tell you why, but do you want me to type literally pages of information here? I can't narrow it down. I wish I could, but it would take an absurd amount of wordage. Plan to play the Baldur's Gate series? Maybe one day. All you said was, man-made stuff generally has... Well, you said it always, but that's not the case. Man-made stuff generally has a final purpose in mind when it's created. Therefore, everything has a final purpose in mind when it's created, and that's simply not the case. It's nonsensical to draw that line. You know, here are some things that have a property, therefore everything shares that property. It's not a line of logic at all. Praise the Helix for... Wow, who made the Helix? I knew somebody would. Pichu. I don't know who that is. That's not what you said. You said all things have a final purpose in mind when they're created. Yeah, all things do. But why? You know, how do you know? How do you know? Because basically what you've said is, you've said that humans have a final purpose, which is, I don't know what exactly you think it is, whether that's to serve God's will or whatever. But you say they're created by God, and they have a final purpose in mind. And you know this because there are other things that are created by an intelligence, aka us, with a purpose in mind. Because we are made as well. And see, that's the thing. You're filling in the gaps. You're saying there are things that are made, and these things have purposes in mind when they're made. Then you're saying we were made, therefore we have a purpose in mind. I'm saying, you know, were we made? How do you know? And you're saying, but we were made because we have a specific purpose. I say, but I don't think we have a specific purpose. But we have a specific purpose because we were made. And everything that is made has a specific purpose. It's circular reasoning from what I can tell. You're breaking down like this. Would I say all things that began to exist must have a cause? I don't know. So far, I think everything has a cause, I'm not really sure. I don't fully understand the beginning. I don't even begin to understand the beginning of the universe, or the Big Bang, or whatever it may have been. So no, I wouldn't say that all things that began to exist must have a cause. I mean, I think everything now has a cause. I don't know how it all began. you know. But I guess in our current state in the universe, everything must have a cause. Is math made by humans, or was it discovered? It's an interesting question, though pretty irrelevant to what we're talking about here. What's happening? Your head is hurting, Unorthodox? Just a discussion about religion and stuff. What is my favorite Elder Scrolls game? Sorry, Guitar Snake, I didn't see that for a second. My favorite Elder Scrolls game would be Oblivion. Anyway, I'm going to ignore the chat for a second and just do this dialogue, and then we'll get back to it. You have found the totem. This is good news. Please, take this as a token of my thanks. I hope that your efforts have not left you too drained, as there is still much to be done. For your efforts, I will share with you some knowledge. The Skarl have the ability to summon wolves to fight by our sides. You too now possess this ability. The Restag must now be performed. What's the Restag? You have been of great service to the Skarl, and it seems that you take part in the ceremony. It seems right that you take part in the ceremony. Meet at nightfall with Rolf Longtooth, one of our Skarl hunters. You will find him by the western shores of Lake Fjelding. He will tell you more about the Restag. So, Rolf Longtooth on the western shore of Lake Fjelding. Oh, so what was said? Explain that for me. Tell me one thing that began to exist that had a beginning that didn't have a cause. I said I don't know, you know, how it was before the universe began. I don't know how the universe began. I don't know how the universe began, so I can't explain that to you. I don't know. Everything that I know of had a cause that created it. You know, something was caused by something else. Everything that I know of had a cause. There was a cause before that and a cause before that, but I don't know the ultimate end to it all. Whether it began with an initial cause or how that could be, I just don't know. You know, obviously you could say everything right now is the result of all the causes and effects, and you could count all the way back to the beginning of the universe, right? But then from there, I don't know where to go. I don't know whether it was, you know, scientists working on the Big Bang Theory. Apparently, I don't really understand the Big Bang Theory. Some people think God created all to begin with, but then what created God? It's just one more step. Really? You can't prove that something has an objective purpose. Well, I mean, I haven't seen any proof that there is. I wouldn't say you can't prove it, but so far you certainly haven't. I'm on the western shore and I'm not seeing Mr. Longtooth. He might be a little further off, or down here somewhere. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe must have a cause. The only thing that by definition does not have a cause would be a creator or a god. Therefore God is the only possible creator of the universe. That's absolutely wrong. God had no beginning. God, hold on. Stop right there. You're saying the universe must have a cause. The universe began to exist, so it must have a cause. God doesn't have a cause. So he never began to exist, so he's just always existed. Then why can't the universe have always existed? Why does the universe have to have a cause if God doesn't have to have a cause? That's the ultimate question we've reached so far. Why does the universe have to have a cause if God doesn't have to have a cause? What makes God immune to that requirement? Bouts of logic and religion always sound malicious. I'm not angry. I don't think Dallas is angry. I think Isaac Newton might be a little angry at Dallas, and Dallas might be a little angry back, but I don't think I'm angry or anybody I'm discussing with is angry at me. If the universe always existed, then the universe would be the final creator of the only world.
Said that you could let it go.
And I wouldn't get you hung up on somebody that you used to know.
Cut me off.
Make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and I feel so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. Guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Hello. Oh, we found the people. Thank you for the $5 donation to Iavant. He said, I greatly enjoy your streams, though I rarely stay for the entire stream. You deserve this. Well, thank you, Iavant. So hold on. Let's go back. I missed what Dallas Cheese fan said up there. If the universe always existed, then the universe would be the final creator, the ultimate cause, or, for easier definition, God. If your definition of God is anything that doesn't have a cause, anything that has always existed, and you can accept that the universe might be that God, because I don't know whether the universe has always existed or whether it was caused and created by something else. I don't know. But, you know, by your definition, you just accepted that the universe might be your God. You know, if the universe has always existed, I don't know whether it has or not. I don't know what was before the universe or whatever. But if that's the case, then you have no need for a God. You just said a God was necessary before. But if the universe always existing meets your criteria for God, then it could be the entire theory of evolution. You know, we don't have to be created with a specific purpose because the universe could have been the first thing. I don't know this stuff. But I'm just saying that your point before, that it is necessary for a God to create us with a purpose in mind, totally invalid if the universe meets your requirements for a God anyway. You know, if the universe could be your definition of God, then we were created through evolution with no specific purpose in mind, but through natural selection and random mutations and things. Then, yeah, your whole thing about ultimate purposes and things like that is totally unneeded. And now what else did you say? Leviticus, if you knew theology, you'd know that Leviticus is not really something that escapes its own culture. Right. I'm not really here to discuss the Bible, although we can discuss that too. I have my own thoughts on the Bible, not that I've read particularly much of it. Nowhere near the whole thing. Now let's save the game here, but I'd like to hear about Dallas Cheese fans' thoughts on that, because I think we're getting somewhere. Certainly. Because before you were saying that there has to be a God that created the universe. Something that has always existed but never made anything has a name, the Republican Party. I think Republicans used to get stuff done, not for the last 15 years or so. The Earth is at least 5 billion years old. If it was 6K, then there wouldn't be dinosaur bones. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Can we go back to a normal stream? I think a lot of people are actually interested in this Phantom. I think a lot of people are participating in the conversation and have taken interest and might be learning a thing or two, or might be just learning that I'm an idiot or something. If that's what you take away from that whole conversation, that's okay too. Anyway, let's save again, even though I totally just saved in this exact position, and talk to Rolf Longtooth. Come back at nightfall, my friend. We will perform the restart only when the moon watches over us. Okay. Yeah, see? New Divide enjoys the conversation. I'm enjoying it. Of course, we won't discuss this kind of stuff all the time. Usually I do avoid it. But Dallas Cheese Fan is a big supporter of Twitch Geeks. So, you know, I don't know, it's good to have a conversation, a fairly civil conversation, and try to work out exactly where, you know, what everybody's position is, and get some different ideas out there. I think it's good. Sometimes, as long as, you know, with Dallas Cheese Fan, he's a regular viewer of the stream and a regular donator to myself and OP Nerd. So he's obviously a big supporter of us, and he's not going to get angry at conflicting ideas. So that's why I wouldn't have this conversation with random people. Wouldn't go out on the street and talk to people about this kind of stuff. Talk to my friends. So yeah, that's why I'm happy to have this kind of conversation right now. If you create a boner, is its final purpose to be rubbed out or to be made a kid? Because it goes away. Oh, Isaac Newton. Hold on, I need to take off my sweatshirt, guys, and open a door. It's getting quite warm in here, so I'll be right back. Activate toggle mic. Alright, I'm back. Okay, I think Dallas Chiefs fan might have left. I'm going to check the viewer list since he's not saying anything. But we can pretty much end the conversation if he's gone, because I don't think anybody else was strongly either way. I wanted to discuss it too daily. Oh, he's still here. Maybe he just went AFK for a second or something. I don't know, maybe he's considering what I said. More likely he just considers me an idiot, which is okay. He said it would take a wiki page to explain. Well, that was something else, you know. And clearly it didn't take a wiki page to explain, because we managed to keep the conversation on one thing at a time. So, anyway, let's just do this quest. Come back at nightfall. I guess this isn't late enough for them. 3 more hours should probably do it. 11 PM. You're too slow. Curse the curse of you playing Pocket Monsters Pikachu Edition and crying at how silly it is. Oh goodness. Greetings, Griver Hogren. Caused Windeye has told me much about you. You are to perform the Restag with us, pleasing the Allmaker. In the Restag, we hunt the spirit bear that is conjured by the Totem of Claw and the Fang. When it is slain, we will return its heart back to Windeye, who will ask for the blessings of the Allmaker. If the Restag fails or does not succeed by daybreak, the Allmaker will be displeased. You will help ensure our success. You will act as my second. You are to stay with me at all times during the Restag, and to follow my instructions exactly. You have proven your value to the Skull, but now you must allow me to guide you through this night. Hey Shirt DC, welcome. Talking to a creationist is like... Guitar Snake, I disagree. Of course there are some creationists and there are just some people in general. There are some atheists, there are some evolutionists. Although I think that's kind of a silly term. But just... there are plenty of people who are arrogant or refuse to reevaluate their own beliefs. And in fact, I probably was like that like 3 years ago or so. It's kind of around the time I decided that it was important to continuously reevaluate what I thought. The universe is a humongous video game. When you look on the smallest parts, they look like pixels on a screen. It's what you believe? Okay, Commander Jan, I mean, it's a possibility. You would like if the universe was a program written by God, because as a game designer, that means you could be God-like. I like it, Isaac Newton, I like it. I like it. Alright, well, I mean, it's a possibility from my perspective. Now, obviously, I haven't studied the Big Bang. And that's probably what's right. I don't know. I don't understand the Big Bang, and I don't really care to look into it too much right now. But not understanding the Big Bang, and being able to, you know, go step by step back to the beginning of the universe, you could make the leap that it's a computer simulation, and it started there, you know. Obviously, it's that doesn't make it true that you just make that leap. But it's a possibility from that little leap. You can say, oh, well, you know, it could have just been a computer simulation started from that right there. Or something like that. Or it could have been an all-powerful, all-knowing, mystical magic man called God, called Yahweh, who created the universe right at that point, or whatever you like. I prefer to just say I don't know, and let the scientists work it out until they've got something I can consider. You think Stephen Hawking conceded in an interview that there could exist a God who wrote the rules of science and then has refrained from interfering in the universe ever since the start of time? Yeah, well, that's totally possible. Totally possible. Did we land on the moon? Dun dun dun! We did though. Go to, you know, your nearest scientific research center and ask them where their biggest telescope is, and then go have a look at the moon. And if that isn't enough, you know, shine a laser at the moon and time how long it takes to reflect back from the man-made reflective panels that are on the moon. And you can actually test that well, at least that there are man-made things on the moon. But I think it's a pretty easy leap to make that we have these big machines orbiting the planet in space. People regularly go up to space to go fix them up, check them out, masturbate, and have their jizz fly through zero gravity. So it's a pretty small leap and a pretty unimportant one to say that we probably landed on the moon. I don't consider that a very important question. The Big Bang was a supernova star running out of energy or fuel, and when that happens they implode. At least that's what you think. I don't really understand, but there you go. If you watch Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, there are a lot of hidden messages that can be interpreted as Kubrick saying the moon landing was fake and I was the director. Well, again, it doesn't really matter whether the moon landing was fake. Doesn't really matter. It's not a big question to me. Did we go to the moon or didn't we? I don't really care. I think we probably did. And you can go test that there are man-made reflector panels on the moon and... Okay, see you later, Rescuer. Enjoy your puppet show. And you can, you know, we've got a robot on Mars. It's a pretty easy deduction to make that we've probably been to the moon. But it's not that important whether we've been to the moon or not. It's not like this big important question that determines our ways of life or something like that. Did we go to the moon? No, probably. Probably. Don't really care. You know, everyone can go to the moon and Kerbal Space Program. Yes. Yes. Okay, do I need to ask about something else? Tell me more about Restarg. Ensure our success. Okay, now we must see it through. Alright, well let's do it then. Let's do it then, I guess. Mobile phones would not work without satellites put in orbit, so it's not a big leap to go from the International Space Station to the moon. Yeah, it's not very far, really. It's not really that far. They'll probably get there. To the moon. Your grandpa worked on the Apollo. He was one of the main programmers. Wow, Lamppost. That's quite impressive. And notice, by the way, guys, this is another thing that I thought I would bring up. The difference between important questions and unimportant ones. Right now, Lamppost claims that his grandpa was one of the main programmers on the Apollo mission. Right? And I just accept that, because it's not that important. As long as Lamppost doesn't say you guys should send me money because of that, it's not an important question. So you just say, okay, well, sure. Your grandfather was one of the main programmers on the Apollo mission. Okay. You know, that's how I feel about the moon landing. It was probably true, but I don't really care. Doesn't really make a difference to me whether we went to the moon or not. So I accept it with a lot less skepticism than I would say the existence of an almighty God that tells me not to masturbate. If you want to take my masturbation away, you're going to need a lot more evidence than that. Alright, did you hear that? It came from near Satyr the Bold's path. Go to him, Griver Hogrind, and make sure he is well. And return to me so we may complete the hunt. Satyr the Bold? Over here? Was he this way? Where did he go? I don't bloody well know where he went. Oh my. Twitch won't let us do giveaways anymore? I know. I know. See, that was an important question that I needed further evidence for. Ex-wife. Shh. We must hunt carefully and quietly. There is no time to talk. Get back to Longtooth. This is where... Alright. Well, this is Longtooth. And where's Satyr the Bold? He should be over here, right? Oh shit. Satyr the Bold is dead. US federal law prohibits any contest that requires paid entry. Yeah, the thing is we should be allowed to do free ones, but they still count as raffles. You're out of Snapple? I have no idea what Snapple is. Satyr is dead? That is a bad omen. These creatures are dark spirits indeed, and they will try to disrupt the hunt. We will not allow this to happen. The loss of Satyr is great, but we must continue. Let us go. The other woman's going to die now, as soon as she passes out of view for too long. I think.